One day, a family of ants were busy working, drying out the grain they had stored up during the summer. A starving grasshopper came, his fiddle under his arm, and begged for a bite to eat. "What?" cried the ants in surprise. "Haven't you stored anything for the winter?" "What were you doing last summer?" "I didn't have time to store up any food," whined the grasshopper. "I was so busy singing in the sun that before I knew it, the summer was gone." The ants shrugged. "Making music, were you?" they cried. "Very well, now dance." And they turned their backs on the grasshopper and went on with their work. And the grasshopper died. When working in sales, you need to have the ant mentality, not the grasshopper mentality. That's because in sales, things are happening only if you make the sale. The rest is just singing. And singing doesn't pay you a commission. And making a sale just boils down to one thing, the closing. The rest is just dancing. And dancing doesn't pay you a commission. Now, granted, the art of closing is an elusive one. To close a sale, you need talent for persuasion, for background knowledge, for the presentation of your offer in the best light possible, and for understanding that when you ask someone to buy something from you, it's not really about the product or about them. Your customer doesn't buy your product. The customer buys you. Your knowledge, your confidence, your branding, your boldness, and your support. Your customer doesn't care if your product is really fitted to what they need, as long as you make them feel great about the purchase. The difference between a great and a bad salesperson is not on how many sales they have each month or how much they sell. The difference between a great and a mediocre salesperson is how much chargeback they have. If you're a salesperson, you understand what a chargeback is and why is it so negative. Because when you have a chargeback, that means that you tricked your customer to buy your product. But as soon as you leave, they develop the buyer's remorse and they simply cut the sale. That's why there are good ways and bad ways to close the sale. And here are 3 ways to close the sale. Ask for it again. Don't let up until you get a yes or a no. People only say yes after they've been worn out by pressure, but only if they still haven't said no. Remember, persistence pays off. One of the best ways to close the sale is by asking questions. You could ask if they have any questions or concern. Ask them about themselves. People love to talk about themselves. And when they talk about themselves, you just shut up and listen. Ask them about what they feel about the product and what about the final decision. What would it be? If they say yes on your product, just shut up. Shut up. Don't oversell. Overselling will kill the sale because you will bring new arguments. Just fill out the sale contract and get their signature on it before you walk away from the sale. And if they're still unsure about making a purchase or if they still have questions, tell them you'd be more than happy to help them and that you follow up in a couple of days. Pull out all the stops. Use every piece of evidence you have to show that they should buy from you. Compare yourself to how your competition does business, how great your product is, and how well taken care of they'll be in your hands. Be prepared with evidence of results, samples, customer comments, testimonial, and anything else you can use to make your case. By going the extra mile, you'll convince your customer that you really care about them because you are willing to go the extra miles to get results. Avoid the no answer. Ask them for a commitment. Ask them something that will only trigger a yes. For example, ask them to agree with you on a point or idea. Make the first commitment small and then build down to bigger commitments. Or ask them for their text number so you can call them or text them some message later on. The point is that you have to get them to say yes as much as you can. Give them options that they can only agree with. The more yes answers you can get from someone, the more likely it is that you will close the sale with them. If you let a no hit you, you've hit the end of your sales presentation. That's it. Done. So don't let your sales call end with a close. When you ask someone to buy something from you, they'll either say yes or no. If the answer is no, you can't do anything about it except try another tactic and hope for a better result. If you can tap into how your customer's brain works at different stages in the purchasing process or lead funnel, you may be able to drive more sales with less efforts. And if all of this sounds intimidating and you want help putting those principles into practice, follow me. I am publishing sales video several times a week. One of those videos will hit you. You have my word.